fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is my work in progress. This is my first DIY moon shop kit. This is called My Cho by Sybil Art. And I'm doing some things a little differently. One of the things that attracted me to this kit was the really pretty pinks and other colors in this kit. But most of the background is actually grays, blues, and very light pinks. And so I decided, rather than just starting at one end and working my way across, what I would do is kind of leave all of the pink stuff of her for last, because that would be the fun part. So I'm kind of working my way around. I've got the top of her done, except for kind of her mask. This is all her hair, and now I've got her hair in her hand right here, which is what I'm going to be working on today. So I don't know how far I'll get, but we'll see. So this is what I'm going to be working on. You are encouraged to go grab whatever it is you are currently working on and work alongside while I chat. Alternatively, you can just treat this like a podcast and listen along. Okay, so I think I've got everything. Got all my accessories, got my notes, got a drink. I think I'm set up and ready to go. So I'm going to zoom in on the section where I'm working so you guys can see it a little bit better. So I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so I am going to just grab a color and start working here, and we'll see how far I get. I did make some notes, although I don't have as many as I usually do. So, and I'm using my big Bella tray here, although I gotta say, this tray for me, I struggle with lining up my drills. I get them like that, and then I kind of have to tap it to get them all in a straight line. And I still have stragglers. So while I have much better luck with the smaller tray. I don't know if it's the size of this one that gets me, as it just doesn't fit in my hand as nicely, but I struggle with this one. So let me go back to using one of my other bigger trays and stick to the smaller Bella trays. My glue dot in this pen keeps misbehaving. Okay, so what do I want to talk about today? Life update. Sadly, still nothing for my daughter for a job. She's starting to get really, really discouraged. She's gone on lots of interviews, but she just keeps getting passed over for the jobs. And I know she's getting kind of frustrated. Honestly, I'm frustrated for her. But you know, I don't really know what goes on either. I don't go with her to the interviews. I don't know what gets said. So I don't know. I'm going to go over and talk to her later and see if we can brainstorm some ideas, maybe some jobs that she hasn't thought of, options that she could do, you know, while she's kind of waiting for something better to come along. So yeah, I don't know. That's always really tough when you don't have a job and you're looking for another one. And, you know, I told her at the time when she told me she was going to quit the job that she had, I'm like, you need to get something else lined up, because it's always easier to find a job when you have one, which seems crazy, but that's how it is. So no updates on that front. It has been super duper hot here. My poor husband has been out working in the heat. Oh shoot, I forgot to start my timer. Hang on one second, guys. Has been out working in the heat, drinking lots of water, taking breaks so they stay hydrated. He actually got the day off on Friday because, well, more like half a day. That day there were only 3 people on his crew for whatever job they were doing, and one of them didn't show up, and it was a job they couldn't do with just 2 people. So, and everybody else didn't need any help, so they went home. So he got a nice 3-day weekend, which didn't hurt his feelings at all. So It rained for a whole 5 minutes last night. I woke my husband up, or I was talking to my husband this morning, and I said, "Did the rain wake you up?" And he said, "No, it rained." And I said, "Yeah, not that you would know it, because looking outside, it literally rained for maybe 5 minutes. It started to rain, and at first it was so hard I thought it was hail, and I was almost going to get up and go check it out. And by the time I thought, maybe I'll get up, it was done. And I thought, well, okay, guess there's no point in checking it now. So we could really use some rain around here, as I'm sure could a lot of people. But it doesn't seem to be happening. We have like a 10% chance of rain for the next 3 days, and 5 minutes at a time just isn't going to cut it. Okay, I'm trying to look here and see if I got all the H's in this section. I think there's a couple more right here on her hand. Let me put something on top of that so it will stay. Just so I can finish this little section with her hand. No, one more. Okay, I think that's all the H's then. Like I said, I decided to, whoops, there's one, to fill in this kind of whole section here, because this is all going to be kind of those grays and her hair and her hand and all of that. And then I'll save the fun part with her clothing and all the pretty reds and everything for the end, which is something I've never done before. I usually just start at one end, like I said, and I work my way through. So this is kind of exciting to me. It's a new experience, doing something fun and new. So wasn't sure if I'd like it, but I actually do. So getting ready for my youngest to go back to school. Still got to see if he's got that one last book left that he needs for that one last class, and then he starts back to school tomorrow. I did go out to lunch with my sister and told her that I would be willing to sub for the preschool. So I will be doing that. It won't be a regular gig, but it will be enough to at least get me out of the house every once in a while, which is something I need. And so I don't become a complete shut-in, because I could very well, if left to myself, just never leave my house and become a true hermit. We already get all of our groceries delivered. Not really been going anywhere because it's been summer, and I haven't had to do any work at the preschool over the summer like I have the last couple of summers, because I won't be working there. So at least, consistently. So she does already have me lined up for something in October. Somebody's going on vacation or something. So I'll at least be doing that. And we'll see. I am currently trying to figure out what else to do with my time, because I don't do well without something to do. I get bored really easily, and so I need something that's going to keep my interest. Otherwise, I'm going to end up sitting in front of the TV and weighing 9,000 pounds, because all I do is watch TV and eat, and I don't want to be that. So, yeah, I just, like I said, I get bored easily, and with too much time on my hands. Sticks, anyone? Yeah, having too much time on my hands is not a good thing for me personally. So I don't know, I might volunteer some. I've got some ideas, and I need to do some kind of searching around and see what I want to do. So that's an option too. So we'll see. Just something productive to do with my time besides diamond painting. That's productive, but I can't diamond paint all day, every day. I mean, I could, but I don't think anybody would pay me for that. So one of the things that I've decided to do is that I'm going to start going around our house and making notes of things that we need to fix and or clean prior to us putting it up for sale, because there's lots of things that we need to fix, like, and just, random things. After we've lived here for almost 10 years now, and, there's just, I mean, we take care of routine maintenance and that kind of stuff, but, just things that after a while you just learn to live with them. Like our closet door, the house has settled a bit, and so it doesn't quite swing free the way that it should. And we've taken it off once and sanded the bottom of it, but it's still not enough. So I want to get that fixed. There's some things in the bathroom that we need to change, some regrouting that I need to do. Um, we have really hard water here, so just some things that we've kind of lived with, lime scale and stuff. And I tried to keep on top of it, but sometimes it's really hard. Like I need to take our faucets apart and clean some of them. That's not always the easiest thing to do. So, and we have a room downstairs. It was going to be a third bathroom. We've never finished it. We're now trying to decide if we want to finish it or not. I don't know, because of where we live, if it would actually add enough value to the house to make it worth the expense. I don't know if we'd get our money back on it. So that's something we may, when we get closer to, actually putting it on the market, that we may talk to a realtor about whether it would actually be worth the investment to fix it up or not. So that's something to consider. And that bathroom is currently filled with sheetrock that was left over from us finishing the rest of the basement that we won't use because it's not made for bathrooms. So it just needs to go upstairs and go away. I mean, we could probably find someone to come take it for free. We just have to get it up and out of the basement is the hard part. And I can't currently really go up and down stairs easily with my knee still. So it would have to be my husband and my son doing that. So we'll see. Also on that front, my knee is better than it was, but it still has never been back to 100%. And I've just kind of been living with it and trying to do things on my own. And my husband just finally said to me the other day, because it was really bothering me one day, why don't you just make an appointment to go back to the doctor and get another shot? And my initial instinct is, but I don't want to, because I don't like going to the doctor. I mean, I went to my regular physician thinking, okay, I've been diagnosed by the surgeon. I don't require surgery. Here's what's wrong with me. What do I do? And his response was to tell me to go back and see her, which I found irritating. And so I just kind of went, well, okay, I'll just deal with it myself. Well, again, it's still not 100% better, even though it's way better than it was. I've been trying to figure out what triggers the inflammation and what doesn't. Sadly for me, I think one of the triggers is gluten, which makes me sad because I love bread. Like literally love bread. I could exist on bread and water. I love bread. But it doesn't seem to like me anymore. And while I don't have the kind of bursitis that, like it swells up and I've got to have fluid removed and everything, it just becomes super painful to even walk on it. And now I'm starting to get twinges in my other knee. And I'm like, I've been limping along with this one, but if my good one goes bad, I'm really screwed. So I finally broke down and called and made an appointment with the surgeon to see what they say. They asked when I made the appointment, did I just want another injection? And I'm like, well, I mean, maybe. I don't want to just say that's what I want to go in and do. What I'd really like to do is not have to come back in for an injection. I don't know if that's an option. I'm hoping I can manage it with diet and, just kind of keeping myself on an even keel that way. But first I've got to get it back to where I can go upstairs, mostly pain-free, most days. But I can't go down them hardly ever without that knee giving me fits. So, and when I got the first couple of injections, they told me it could last anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. Well, it's now been 6 months, over 6 months since I had the injection. So I don't know if I'm just to the point where it's kind of wearing off. I don't think so, because like I said, it is way better than it was. There were mornings where I couldn't even hardly get out of bed because it was just so painful. and it's not that way now. I still have issues with it, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. And I just realized that I'm probably diamond painting in a section that you guys can't see. Sorry. I'll move back down here. Anyway, so, I said I just need to talk to the doctor because I don't know, what my options are. Like I said, it's not so painful that my joints swell up and I need to have fluid removed and that kind of stuff. It's just painful to use. And, while I'm walking okay, which was not something I was doing before, like I said, I still can't go up and down stairs. And since we have a basement, that's not great for me at our house. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of those, like, our extra freezer is downstairs, our pantry is downstairs. So like if I need anything, I have to go down the stairs really slow, or I got to get somebody else to do it for me, and that's annoying. And I just want to be back to where I was, So, and like I said, I've resisted going to the doctor because I don't like going to the doctor, but I'm going to bite the bullet and do it. So, in the next couple of weeks, I have an appointment coming up so that hopefully I can figure out what I need to do. And I don't want her to just stick me on medication, although I know that's an option. I'd really prefer to figure out some other way to do it. On the other hand, if that medication is going to work and make it so that it's pain-free and I can resume my life, then I guess I just need to bite the bullet and do it. So we'll see what she says. I'm not sure what she's going to say, but we'll see. And, this all seems crazy to me that I'm going to a surgeon for her to tell me how to treat my bursitis. I would have thought that my regular physician could tell me that, but whether he could or couldn't, he didn't. So that's where I am. Yeah, that's the other thing is, it's frustrating. I don't really like my doctor a whole lot, but trying to find somebody else, these days, it's like you got to call an audition and tell them, well, what all's wrong with you? And then we'll decide if you're enough trouble that we want to take you on as a patient. I mean, that's how they make you feel. Like, there's too much wrong with you, so we don't want you. We want these patients that we, either very rarely have issues or they have nice, clean issues that they come in, they see you for 5 minutes, and then you're out the door. Well, if that was how healthcare worked, nobody would need insurance, right? Just crazy. So anyway, so I have an appointment for that. And in the meantime, I'm going to try and keep myself busy, like I said. In addition to things that we need to repair, I'm also going to start looking at getting rid of stuff. Somebody gave me the advice to be brutal when I was going through all of our stuff and deciding what to get rid of and what to keep. And I will be. I'm pretty brutal about that kind of stuff myself. I don't like to keep things for no reason, which is one of the reasons my husband and I sometimes clash, because he's not like that about everything, but if it's mechanical or electronic, he wants to hang on to it. Doesn't matter how old it is, whether or not it's useful, he wants to hang on to it. And that drives me crazy. So we'll see how that goes, because I'm going to be encouraging him to kind of go through stuff and get rid of some things too. And some things may have to go missing while he's at work, which sounds kind of mean, I know, but I've done it before, and 99% of the time, he never misses it. Okay, what color do I want to do next? I think I'll do eyes in this section. So I'm slowly working my way through all of my extra bottles. Lots of my colors, I had more than one bottle, so I'm slowly, I think I finished like 4 bottles already. And you can also see in this section, I'm adding in lots of ABs. There's one AB in the kit, which so far has only been in this flower in the corner. And then I've got 4 other ones that I'm adding in. So I think it looks pretty. We'll see how it works. So, okay, so that was my life update. essentially. Youngest still hasn't, or oldest still hasn't found a job. Youngest is going back to school. I'm going to be subbing, going back to the doctor about my knee. It's hot. We need rain. And I'm going to start getting ready to move. That was the TLDR version, right? So, moving on. What's going on in my diamond painting life? So, still working on my goals. I don't know how many of them I'm going to meet by the end of the year, but I'm still working on them. I know I'm not going to meet my goal of my budget. I've already busted my budget. I know that. Although I did see something from Craftably that they may have finally received the shipment that has my pre-orders from December in it. So maybe I will actually get those before the end of the year. Hip, hip, hooray. I ordered 3 kits, and I know 2 of them were on their list. I'm assuming the 3rd one was too, but I can't remember what the name of the 3rd kit was that I ordered, and I didn't go look it up. So I'm just going to assume they're all in there, and I'll get them all at the same time. And I think I'm still going to get them in the tubes. I ordered them before they were getting rid of their tubes. So just for old time's sake, I know they sent that a message around that if we didn't want the tubes, we could tell them not to include them. But I thought, I've only ordered one other item from Craftably, which was my Bird Woman, which I really liked a lot. So I'm just going to get these last ones in the tubes, and then after that, when they're in boxes, it's no big deal. So, I think I'm going to make my Big 10 goal, but I may have to change some of the companies that I was going to use. I was originally thinking that I would have to change Craftably. I may change Diamond Painting Deutschland just because the one kit that I have from them is so huge that I'm in no mindset to take that on right now after finishing all the big projects that I have recently. Which, speaking of, you guys, I finished some stuff finally. Uh, some of them felt like they were going to take forever. It was actually kind of funny because I was getting set up for this whip and chat and pulling this one off of my table and bringing it into film with, and my husband's like, "Oh, you're going to use that one to do your whip and chat?" And I was like, "Well, I kind of have to because it's the only kit I'm working on at the moment," which is kind of crazy because it's been so long since that happened. Usually, the last 3 or 4 months, I've had up to as many as 5 going on at once. But I finished my autumn from Crafties. I finally got the additional drills, and so I was able to finish that. Didn't take very long at all, and it was done. So that's finished. So Crafties was one of my Big 10, so that's done now. And then, you guys, I finished my Firefly Fireworks. I thought that painting was never going to end. And again, not to say that I didn't enjoy it, I did, but it was just so big. And I think, again, my typical work, the way that I work is that I get a kit out, I work on it till it's done, and then I move on to the next thing. And so it felt like it was taking forever because I started it in June, and then I moved over to the Muka to do Summer with the Masters. That was a huge painting in and of itself. And then also in June, I was doing DP for pets, and so that took up a lot of my time. And still working on the Muka through July, and or at least part of it. And yeah, it just felt like it was never going to end, even though I wasn't actually working on it. It was just hanging around, and it's so big there was no ignoring it. So it's just like I have this painting hanging around constantly going, work on me, work on me, work on me, work on me. And I couldn't because I was doing so many other things, which is okay. But anyway, so I finished it. Yay. And I did lots of enhancements to that I think turned out really well. So I'm glad it's done, but I am happy I did it. It was my oldest kit still in my stash. It was probably the biggest kit in my stash, just square centimeter wise, I think. And I take that back. My diamond painting Deutschland is probably bigger than that. But other than that one, that was probably the biggest that I had left. And so I worked on it and I got it done. And I'm so happy. So happy that I pushed through it and I actually finished it. I still don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's done. So it can sit while I decide what I'm going to do with it. And, maybe once I start going through and cleaning the house and getting rid of things, maybe that will open up some space for me to do something with it. I don't know. Again, with that move kind of looming in front of us, I'm hesitant to put something that big in a frame and make it really heavy, but we'll see. I might actually guinea pig it and seal it and then try putting it in a frame without glass, just sealing it and doing it that way. But we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, the point is it's finished. So yay me. So now this is really kind of my last WIP for this month that I want to get finished so that I am ready with a clean slate when September 1st rolls around, because of course in September I'm going to be starting my 30 by 30 challenge. I'm still working on things for it. I have, I think, 9 kits kitted up so far of the 20 full round or full drill that I would like to do for it. And I mentioned, I think in last week's WIP and chat, that I don't know, I don't know how things are going to look next month, because I still obviously need to have video content going out, and I will. So I don't know if I want to do like some marathon D kits when I finish some stuff. I just don't know quite what that's going to look like yet. So we'll see. So, stay tuned. Things might be interesting next month. So I'm going to try and have 20 kits kitted up and ready to go, because that's the minimum that I want to do for the full round or the full drill. I keep saying full round. I have a couple of squares, but most of them are round. So I want to get all those kitted up so, I have stuff that I can kit down. I'm also going to be kitting up some of my special shaped partials, which I wasn't going to do because, like I said, typically I don't kit those up. I just, basically work through the number. Like I start at number 1 and place all the number 1 drills, and then I start at number 2. And, they're small enough that it's easy to do it that way. It goes really fast. It's not a big deal, so it wasn't worth spending the time to kit it up. That being said, one of the things that I want to do, and I don't know whether this is useful or whether anybody wants this or not, I just thought it would be interesting, and so I'm going to do it. And that is, we have our DMC codes for all of our regular drills. We have the crystal codes for all of the round crystal rhinestones. And then, the ABs essentially follow the DMC codes. But on a lot of the paintings that you get for the special drills, the partials and whatnot, they will have a code next to the drill. But I have not been able to find a code chart like that anywhere that says, this code is this size, this shape, this color of drill. And so just for my own edification, I decided that I was going to make one. And so I am going to be going through all of my special drill kits and trying to kind of collate a chart of, this code means that it's going to be star shaped and gold, or it means it's going to be one of these teeny tiny rhinestone or, red teardrop shaped slivers, or this one is going to be one of those, bigger ones that looks like a button that's in the shape of a rose or whatever. Um, is there a purpose to that? I don't know. Uh, I mean, what are the odds that I'm going to need to substitute in that way? Probably there isn't going to be. But like I said, just for my own knowledge, I just want to know what if this is the code, what does that mean? Um, and I have had an instance where I didn't get the drills with a partial kit. And so I ended up using my leftover drills to do it with. And for the most part, you probably can figure out what the shape was and the size that you need from, the symbols that are on the canvas itself. But yeah, I just thought it would be interesting. So that's what I'm going to do. So you'll see some content like that coming out. Um, I am still working on revamping my logbook. Um, and I'm actually debating whether I want to put it up for sale on Amazon and or Etsy and or possibly my own website. I really like my diamond painting logbook. I know a lot of people keep it digitally, so if you keep it digitally, it's not for you. I love having the analog paper and pencil option. Um, I just like it. I mean, I still keep spreadsheets too of things, but I like having the paper log. Um, so, and I think other people do too. And I've seen some that people are selling for way more money than I think I would charge. And I like mine better. Not to toot my own horn, but I like it better, of course, because I set it up for myself with the things that I wanted included in it. But now I'm to the point where I'd like to know how useful it is to other people. So, um, if you'd like to check out my current logbook, you can download it for free. If you go to my YouTube channel to the information section, there is a link to my shared diamond painting files, and you can find a PDF of the logbook there that you can print for free. And then, if you do that and you use it, send me some feedback. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you think is missing, what you think I could take out of it, what isn't necessary, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah. So I've been working on that. And then I'm also getting ready for DP for Vets in November. If you guys haven't heard about that, I'll try to throw a link up there so you can go check it out. It doesn't start until November 1st. You, of course, are welcome to sign up before that. The video that I linked has a link to the Google entry form if you want to go ahead and fill it out. You don't need to. Like I said, the event doesn't open until November 1st, and I will have more information and another video about it closer to November 1st, but just so that people had, oh, this pen is driving me crazy, so that people had, an idea of what they might want to do and had time to order canvases and things, and for the canvases to actually arrive before the event started, because I didn't do that when I did DP for Pets. So, yeah. So, as I'm in the second half of the year and more rapidly approaching the last quarter of the year, I thought to myself, what kind of goals do I want to set for next year? And honestly, I'm not sure yet. I mean, I think my DP hours goal will still be there because, it's going to take me a good 5 years of diamond painting to get to my 10,000 hour goal, I think. Maybe less, but we'll see. I'm assuming around 5 years. So that will still be a goal. And of course, I have lots of social media goals. I don't really share those with you guys because I want to focus on diamond painting, but I do have social media goals I'm still trying to make, here on YouTube, on the channel. I have, kind of business/money making ideas kind of floating around in my head that at some point maybe I want to act on. we'll see. I haven't got that far yet. But I don't want to do Big 10 again. I've done that. I'm thinking next year maybe I'll focus on the actual artists, and maybe I'll pick, like, I don't know, some artists' work that I want to do that I've not done before. Um, that's part of the goal making process for me, is that I want to pick things that are going to help me get a broader diamond painting experience. You know, whether that's trying out companies I've never tried out before, whether that is, you know, doing paintings by artists that I've never done before. Um, yeah, just want to broaden my horizons in that arena, because that's always, you know, the goal for me is to always be learning something. And so that's what I want to do, is figure out what can I be doing that I'm learning something, and having fun at the same time, of course, because I don't ever want it to get to the point where I feel like I'm not having fun. I mean, I still very much enjoy diamond painting, even when I get in situations where, like I did with the Firefly Firework, where I feel like, you know, it at some point it becomes a little bit of a drag. But I think that's just the nature of having a big project like that. That you know, now that I'm done with it and I've stepped back from it a bit, I did very much enjoy it. I did enjoy, you know, adding in the bling that I did and seeing how it turned out and all that kind of stuff. So even though it was a bit of a slog sometimes, it was still, the end result was still worth it. And so, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And, you know, I'm always experimenting. Like right now, I'm adding in these ABs. This is on her fingers. I'm not always necessarily a big fan of ABs when it comes to skin, but because her skin tone is like this really pale white slash with purples mixed in and everything, I'm just going to take a chance that it looks okay. And I'm just going to do it. If I truly hate it at the end of it, I can rip it out. Or I can decide to just leave it and decide, ooh, lesson learned, I won't do that again. But I want to try it, right? I think people get so afraid of, oh, it's going to be messed up, or, you know, and I totally understand that. If this was a different painting, maybe I wouldn't be so willing to experiment. But the more you experiment and the more success you have, I think, too, the better you feel about, you know, experiments in the future, because you've got some successful ones under your belt. So what's the harm, right? Trying to look here and see if I got all the R's. I think I did. I think I got all the R's. Oops, I missed an L right there. I don't have too many of these left, so thank goodness there's not very many in the painting. Sometimes, like with some of these, I just try to dot them in sporadically, and then some I'll replace everything. And sometimes there's no real rhyme or reason to how I decide which one is which. I just do it. So I think following your instincts is good. Sometimes you make a mistake, but that's where you learn, right? If you do everything right all the time, then you don't ever learn anything. What is that saying? Experience is the best teacher. That's what I tell my kids whenever something happens and they're like, ugh, yeah, well, you know, you won't make that mistake again. You've learned your lesson. So if stuff always goes your way, not that you don't learn anything, but I feel like the lessons, when something goes wrong or doesn't go the way that you expect it to, those are the lessons you take to heart more. Because I don't think anybody's lucky enough for everything to always go your way. I mean, if you are, whoo, more power to you. That has not been my experience in life. So I guess also, in addition to me setting goals for myself, is there something you guys would like to see from the channel in the future? Things you'd like to see more of, things you'd like to see less of? I mean, I've got some of my own thoughts about that, but I'm interested in hearing yours as well. Um, I mean, you guys are the ones watching this channel, so I would like to make it things that you want to continue watching. So if you have any thoughts, because, I look sometimes at other diamond painting channels. I don't watch YouTube as much as I used to, sadly. I just don't have the time. Well, I probably do now that I'm not working, but I always find it interesting that, some channels that will put out a video and get, not hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of views. And someone else will do a video along the same veins, sometimes even better, I think. Um, and they just don't get the views to reflect that. And I don't know if that's a reflection of the creator, if that's a reflection of the audience, if that's a reflection of, some people know how to manipulate the YouTube algorithm better than others. I don't know. I think I've mentioned before, I while I look at my numbers every once in a while, I try not to get too bogged down in them because that's a trigger for me. I know if I spend too much time looking at it, that's going to send me down a hole of I'll just get very caught up in it, and that's not mentally where I want to be. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with looking at, where you are, where you want to go, that kind of thing. I don't mean to say that at all. But for me personally, it just gets very demoralizing sometimes, because, and it's not even that my channel is not doing well, because it is. I mean, it's succeeded beyond where I ever expected to be when I first started out. Um, so it's not that. It's just that, it's this continual game of comparison. And, I did this and this person did the same thing, but I only got to here and they got to there. And why is that? And I think sometimes, you can let yourself get really discouraged by that. But I try to remember that sometimes the reason for that is not anything I have control over. Some of it may simply be down to the YouTube algorithm. And I, I mean, I guess I could spend a lot of time trying to figure it out. I don't want to. I guess I'm too field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. Um, I mean, like I said, I never expected to be where I am right now. When I very first started, I just thought at the time, what do I have to lose? And so I did it. And it's been great. I love it. So yeah, I don't know. Life is hard sometimes, you guys. I guess that's all I'm trying to say. So some of the other diamond painters I'm in a group with were talking the other day about people moving off of YouTube and onto Twitch and streaming on Twitch, or moving over to TikTok. And while I've seen plenty of diamond painters on TikTok, and I know there are people that diamond paint on Twitch because I watch some of them stream, I don't know that it's a huge market. I mean, I don't know that you'd make any more money on Twitch than you probably make on YouTube. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's a lower bar. But I mean, you still got to put the work in. That's my thing. People act like you just make one YouTube video and you're an instant success, and I don't think it works that way for anybody. I mean, unless you're just rich and have unlimited pockets and can buy people to follow your channel and make other people think it's important. I don't know. I don't want that. I want people who watch my channel because they're generally interested in what I'm doing and what I have to say. Just like I'm generally interested in what you guys are doing and what you have to say. So, yeah, life is hard. I guess that's my takeaway today. Life is hard. Um, So, yeah, I think for the rest of today and maybe tomorrow, I'm just going to spend some time with my kiddos and chill out and relax. Now that I've got the Firefly one done and the Crafties one done, this painting here is really the only one that I'm planning to finish before starting the September challenge. Now, it's possible that I will finish this one before September 1st. And in that case, I might pull something else out to work on, but it will be something that I will then have to set aside for September. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I want to do a couple more kit up videos because, like I said, I would like to get all 20 of my full rounds or full drills kitted up. I don't know if I'll make that before September 1st, but as close as possible. And then I would also like to do some work with my special drill codes and see where that puts me. So, yeah. Okay. Oops, I almost poured those back into regular drills, and these are all ABs. So I thought since this is kind of going to be where the light strikes and a highlight right there, I'd just do the whole thing in ABs rather than putting on the regular drills. So we'll see. And I think I'm going to fill in this last little section here. And then I probably will call this whip and chat good. I'm going to try and go out with my daughter later today and just have some mom and daughter time with her. We haven't had that in a while, and I miss her face. I know she's doing her own thing, but I miss her face. I don't see her as often as I thought I would, and I thought she'd be here. I thought she'd come back for dinner. I thought she'd come back to do her laundry. And nope, she's out with her friends, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just miss her face. So, and I need to spend what time with her I can since she's decided that she doesn't want to go with us to Maine. And that means she's going to be further away when we do move, regardless of whether we move to Maine or directly to Canada, she's going to be further away. So need to set up Zoom with her so that we can do some Zoom calls so I can see her face, even while she's here, just to talk to her and chat with her and just to see her face would be nice rather than just doing it on the phone. I mean, I've called and talked to her, but it's just not the same. So my husband called and talked to his folks today. It's his mom's birthday, and his dad is doing so much better. When we were there for our short little visit, his dad was having some problems, and turns out it was the medication that they had given him for one of his issues, and it was apparently interacting badly with one of his other medications. They figured it out, took him off that medication, and now he's doing great. So his mom was very relieved that they got it figured out and it's all better now. So, I mean, as was everyone else, but so anyway. So I still have some more D's to do in this section, but I kind of need to move things around. So I think I'm going to call that good here, guys. I always feel sometimes at the end of these whip and chats like I didn't talk about important enough stuff, but sometimes, life is the details, right? Okay, let me zoom out here so you can see what I was doing. So I've got most of her hand finished here, and then the little piece of her hair that's wrapped around her hand. I was working up in this section. You can see that her mask, or the little flowers off the side that are in her hair, but I've got all this hair to finish. So I'm going to try and finish this whole section here. And then on the other side of her as well. And then I'll just leave her for the last little bit to finish. Because that seems like it would be the most fun. All of these very pretty pinks and purples and magentas that are in this. Maybe I'll save her eyes and her mouth for last. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so I got that much done. That's good. I'm going to call that a win for today. I hope you enjoyed the whip and chat. I hope you got some things done on yours. One of these days, maybe that's a goal I'll set for myself. One of these days, I'm going to have a whip and chat that's like, I don't know, 2 hours. I don't know if I can talk for 2 hours, but it's a goal, right? So maybe someday I'll have longer whip and chats. Thanks for listening, guys. It helps me to talk things out, even though we're not face to face. And I get great feedback from you in the comments. So thank you to everyone who watches, listens, likes, subscribes. And speaking of that, before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. Drop that like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.